Up in Sacramento, California, lawmakers are moving forward with their, quote, fair pay to play bill. This would allow college athletes to make money off their own likenesses. This is huge, guys. The bill could end up on the governor's desk to potentially sign this week. The NCAA weighed in today, urging the governor to veto the bill, saying if it's passed, it would be unconstitutional in the NCAA's constitution, not the government's.
Yeah.
And that it would, just clarifying that, and that it would, quote, upend the balance of competition in college sports. In response to the NCAA's letter, LeBron James continued in his support of the California bill by tweeting, quote, or because of this bill, you could just work with everyone to create a national policy that is fair to the athletes. I don't know. If you wanted to keep competitive balance, Amin, maybe just then let everybody do what they're going to let possibly the schools in California do. I do just want to clarify how California law works. If the governor doesn't do anything, the bill does become law after 12 days. But there are a lot of people who are lobbying the governor's office, including powerful donors to some of these California schools, to say, hey, you got to veto this because obviously people who currently make money like making money. They don't like to share it with other people.
Yeah. But this is the weird thing. In this scenario, these kids aren't getting paid by the schools or by anyone. This is their ability to sell to EA Sports or 2K or sell to Nike or Gatorade or whatever. And so it should not impact the schools that much. What they're afraid of is loss of power. Is that a paid student athlete is an empowered student athlete who doesn't have to deal with your BS, who doesn't have to deal with some of the things that they have to deal with now because they're under the thumb. And for the NCAA to lobby against this is like begging for indentured servitude to keep going. Please, can't we take advantage of them a little bit longer? Get out of here.
I'm so happy that this has finally come to the forefront because people don't know how long we've been talking about this since I was in college.
Yeah.
This has been over 20 years ago.
Ed O'Bannon.
Yeah, I mean, even, Ed O'Bannon, this has been a long time coming.
Look at young Paul.
So I feel like that the players deserve it. Even when I was at Kansas, I had the #1 selling jersey. In all of the school.
Yeah.
And if I could have had some of that, I had a bike. I didn't even have a phone card to call home to talk to moms once a week.
Right.
I didn't have, I had to borrow money to do laundry, just to go down the street, go to the movies. Like, kids want to be able to do some things if everybody around them is making money.
Making millions.
These top players. I mean, it should go to the player. He should be able to go to Nike and say, look, I'm the most popular player in college, throw me a contract. Even if I don't make it to the pros, this is just like something that I can do or I can live off for while I'm hot.
And by the way, to Paul's point, this could potentially take money away from the schools because if they're paying someone like Paul for that #1 jersey, maybe some of that jersey money doesn't go to the schools. The coaches who get all this money, we see these ridiculous practice facilities. Look at this.
Money for everything.
Look at this. Money for TVs in a fountain pond right there is what we saw. I don't even know what school that's in.
Why did young Paul move like old Paul, though?
Ridiculous.
How are you in high school and college and still look like...
No, I was athletic. I was in dunk contests and everything. Come on now.
I will say this about California. So when we were dealing with environmental laws in this country and with automakers, and there was a push in California to cut emissions, and finally California said, you can do what you want with your own national laws. If you want to sell a car in California, you have to meet these emission standards. And what happened is because California is so big and has so much power and such a big market, car companies, once that law passed, said, well, we got to make them for everyone because we can't just not sell cars in California. And hopefully, if this is what happens with the NCAA, that the NCAA, if this passes, doesn't say, well, California, you can't compete in the Final Four anymore. You can't compete in the College Football National Championship anymore. Hopefully what they say is, well, I guess we can't just lose California. Why don't we, I don't know, make it fair for everyone? That's an idea. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.